Chapter 28.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask you about that.
Finally.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bad Fanfiction Night. I am your host, Raymond McNeil. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello.
Who is joining us on a toaster, apparently.
Oh no.
I mean,
Are you on the wrong microphone right now? Is that it?
Maybe.
I mean, can I say it? She
Discord.
sounds a lot clearer and louder now, so honestly.
Wait, does she? What? No.
Excuse me.
She's got that old Xbox
He's
360 microphone
I'm
right now.
lying.
I can't tell.
Is
You've
it?
got that monotone voice where sometimes I'm not sure if it's sarcasm or not.
Do I need to like? I need
There
to
we
put,
go.
like I need to put a meme in front of my vocal cords or something.
Or you could just
Schrodinger's
be an
helpful.
absolute liar. It's fun.
Oh.
No, I'm back. Apparently I had everything got reset to default. So
Yeah,
Understandable.
Discord does that like once
Understandable.
every 2 days.
Classics.
Ugh.
All right. Well, Moopa, you said we're on the next chapter. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're on chapter 28, Rescuer's Arrival.
Okay. Today we are continuing Connect the Stars, which is was written by our local friend here, Moopa Mova, as a sequel to Kiara Lee Phoenix's Through My Eyes, which legendarily is known as ratfic around these parts because it involves rats.
yes.
In the last one, Kiara decided to go off and because she was frustrated to hang out with Katie, the cicada, and they bonded like in the span of like 20 seconds. And admittedly, there was a montage there, or like a kind of a glanced over period of time where they had fun together. But yeah, no, they're apparently besties now.
It was the part of the movie where they were like developing their romantic bond.
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
I still find it funny that Raymond still hasn't watched that movie in order to gain context.
Oh
Watch it.
yeah, no, I think it's more fun this way.
You
But it's
gotta watch it,
actually a-
indie.
It's actually a legitimately good movie, and that's saying something because it's a direct-to-video sequel.
Yeah. It's fun.
All right, well, we'll be looking at, unfortunately, a shorter run. My sister has come down with some awful illness, and I don't want to keep her up by yelling into the microphone too late. So we'll
Understandable.
be looking at probably about just an hour run, try and end around 11:05 or so.
A nice clean hour.
A nice clean hour. So let's just run over the quick rules. I and Twy are the priority speakers. We love your commentary. We love your jokes and jibes and all the wit, but we gotta also remember that we gotta get through the fic eventually. We can't just lag out because people forget what happened, like we all did forget what happened last week.
Yeah.
And gotta just not overwhelm everything. So
Also, we're streaming live now, don't forget.
yes, we're streaming live. So if anyone says anything inappropriate,
slurs.
I will kill you. Not
Nobody
Yes.
And
say
you
your
know
social
what?
security numbers.
Minecraft may or may not be involved when I do.
Might be Roblox instead.
For reference, Celtic. For reference, how much Greek do you understand?
Enough to know that if you say a single word in Greek, I will kick you from this chat. Just for the precaution. if I hear anything other than Zorba Zeros, I am going to kick you out.
So he knows the M words. Unfortunate.
My God, man.
Quick, language he doesn't know.
All right. Well, here we go. With this is chapter 28, Mupa? Is that right? Because it's not numbered on here.
Yep, chapter 28.
Chapter 28, Rescuers Arrival. Wait, are the rescuers in this now? Oh, God.
Dude,
I'll let you find out.
Everyone is here.
Celtic, this is a crossover with the Bible. Why is Rescuers a
I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah.
Understandable. Hello.
The burned patch had been cleared away, and now the ants worked in small teams as they dug furrows and planted new grass seeds. Katie and Kiara were their own team, Katie digging the holes and Kiara pulling their wagon of seeds. Kiara sat on top of the seeds for the moment, swinging her legs while Katie worked. "If you ever get tired, let me know and I'll switch with you," she said. I like that vote of confidence on if, he replied. "You must think highly of me." "Huh, or maybe I just know I have more energy than you." Energy for turning anything you get your hands on into projectile weapons? Yes, I must concede that point. "I could always give you another demonstration if you like." Her eyes glittered. She's like, "Oh, God, my eyes! What happened? What's in my eyes?" He smirked, stepping back from the finished hole. "And that's why I'll never get tired and let you do the digging." She blew a raspberry as she jumped down and took a seed in her arms to plant. "You're no fun," Katie chuckled, using a shovel as a staff. Elsewhere, the collapsed tunnels had shrunk to a fraction of the original damage. The ceilings had been rebuilt, and much of it was safe to walk on again. Below that, the new tunnels had been laid out with the opportunity presented to carve out new pathways where old ones had become obsolete. After midday, the workers were called together for a small break and address from the Queen and the Prince Consort. Queen Ada stood atop a platform as she spoke into a megaphone. "First of all, we would like to thank and congratulate you all for your hard work and diligence," she began, and an appreciative round of applause went through the crowd. "We have had a lot of unexpected challenges and delays, but you have all risen to face them admirably. Like the tough ants I know you are. As construction is nearing completion, the grass is all but replanted, and we're happy to announce that we are organizing a feast to celebrate and reward you all for your hard work." Kiara and Katie clapped vigorously with the rest of the workers. Queen Ada waited until the second round of applause settled before lifting the megaphone again. "Now, on to our second item to discuss." A loud bang shot through the island. The bugs cried out and flinched, all wheeling around for the source. In the middle of the dirt plain, a bright light flashed, and a strange device appeared. Kiara blinked, willing the afterburn of the light to clear away faster. It was the time machine, with Kiara's sister and godfather standing within. Bum,
Yes.
bum, bum.
Your audience crapping out.
Finally,
Yeah.
the boys showed up.
Mupa, you are dying.
Like,
Oh no.
That was like a single
Roboting.
sentence. That was a single like
just
3
killed her.
words. Single 3
The
words. That was like
story
3
broke
words. It
Mupa
took 5
finally.
minutes to finish.
All right. Preamble to the 2 most hated words. Sorry?
Mupa,
Oh, dear.
you wanna hop out then hop back in?
Might be a good idea.
The 2 most hated
We need a-
words. Income taxes. I think that's like front runner, definitely.
Probably. Good lord, what manner of realm is this? Radigan said, looking around at all the insects. Here I thought being a mouse was the smallest I would ever be, Basil mused. Kiara! Haley cried out, pointing at her among the ants.
Yes, Haley, we
Haley-
can see her. She's very obvious.
Haley! Basil! Radigan! I almost said Basil. It was like,
It's
for
like,
weeks, I was
who
so
are you,
proud
me?
of myself.
Who are you, me? That's what I do.
Jesse, we need to cook.
My most hated words I allowed. Oh God!
Jeez.
Jeremy haunts me to this day.
You will never escape him.
to realize that.
Caleb,
Congrats, Lightning. You just gave everyone in this chat PTSD.
I'm looking at not safe for work chat because I was like, I just want to clear away the notification, try and like.
We don't want to
claim the
know,
stream.
X0.
Well, then Caleb Grimm is like, so I'm drinking 101 proof whiskey, and I really don't think I'm drunk enough for whatever this is. Well, you're posting in the wrong chat, so it's probably not a good sign.
Man, I didn't know you could drunk drive Discord, but we found it.
Cool.
We have the technology.
Caleb Grimm, you don't know what this is. This is the embrace of Mesmer's flame.
Oh no.
Haley, Basil, Radigan, Kiara said and ran forward. Haley jumped down from the time machine, and the two sisters met in the middle, each endeavoring to squish the other in her embrace. I missed you! You're okay! Haley's words were half choked with tears. Basil and Radigan soon arrived at their sides, and wrapped their arms around the sisters as well, hugging tight. I'm so glad we made it in time, Basil said softly. Everyone, this is my sister and my godfathers, Kiara said, turning back to the ants. The bugs had relaxed their stances and were looking curiously now. And that's their time machine. They found me. Fantastic, Flick cried and ran forward ahead of the other ants. They drew closer now, asking questions and peering at the time travelers up and down.
Did you figure out how to time travel with sticks and leaves? I got close.
We could time travel with sticks and stones. That's new.
Flick reached Basil and Radigan and shook their hands vigorously. Boy, I have to tell you, it's such an honor to be in the presence of such incredible geniuses as yourself. I've been trying to unravel the mystery of time travel during Kiara's stay here, but I just couldn't fathom it, so I would love to talk to you both personally and discover how you did it. Consider me a student among the masters, if you would. Absolutely fantastic.
Speaking of Doctor Who,
Flick could figure it out. You can make a time machine out of sticks and stones.
Don't make me associate Christopher Eccleston with Flick the Ant.
Radigan built this time
That
machine
man-
in a cave.
That
with a box
man
of
was
scrap.
already into Thor the Dark World. He doesn't need any more shit than he gets.
Flick just needs 1.21 stickerwatts.
How dare you?
How dare you?
Sticks and stones may
The movie, but go.
Sticks and stones
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but it will never time travel me.
I mean, technically speaking, if you hit your head hard enough with a rock, you will seem to time travel.
You'll wake up in the future.
Yeah, and you'll also travel to the hospital if you hit it hard enough.
You jerk.
What's that one? Wait, isn't it Army of Darkness where the guy just sleeps through everything?
Yeah, no, that's an alternate ending for it. Yeah.
Oh.
I slept too long.
While Flick spoke, Radigan's chest puffed up more and more, and even Basil took to soothing back his hair. Kiara, I'm so glad you're safe, Haley said, holding her sister by the shoulders. Mom and Dad have been worried sick. We can finally take you home. Kiara's face struggled between a smile and widened eyes. Or Basil's house, if you prefer? That does sound nice. Some tension left her body. But first I want to say goodbye and thank all my friends here for their help. A change of plans, Queen Addis spoke into the megaphone, drawing everyone's attention. We will be feasting tonight, both to welcome our guests and give Kiara a proper Ant Island send-off.
Fuck celebrating all of your hard work. We're doing this now.
Wait, why are we celebrating Kiara leaving? Like, didn't she, like, I don't know, level the whole fucking colony, like, 3 times.
We don't
That's
talk about that
why
here.
they're celebrating her leaving, because she won't be around
Yo.
to do it no more.
Shit causes
You know?
numerous disasters, you know.
That's fair.
It's very fair.
Everyone lifted their hands up and gave their loudest cheers yet. With even more congratulations and lauding from all sides, Kiara shook hands with as many bugs as she could, smiling and thanking each one. A short way across was Katie, who hadn't moved from where Kiara had left him. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes, and his own clapping seemed deaf. Kiara instead felt his clapping inside of her chest. It ached.
So anyway, let's get smashed, people.
Let's get
Yeah,
fucked.
let's drink.
I have a question.
Let's drink on our ant
What were the
wine
two
and
most
our
ha-
ant whiskey.
What were the 2 most hated words in that chapter?
It is implied to be goodbye.
Among Us.
feel like that's cheating.
While the night is young. Party lights decorated the entirety of the ground, with colored leaves and banquet tables surrounding the open areas left for the musicians, dancers, and circus performers. Wait, you have lights? You have functional electricity?
Dude, they were going to make time travel with sticks and stones. This, come on, man.
No, light
Yeah.
bug. Light bugs.
Just like the dedicated, your job is just to sit here and be pretty. It's like, I guess.
I mean, that is in the
Easiest
original
job ever.
the spotlights.
I guess you're right. That is true.
No, they did invent electricity, but it's just to like cattle prod the glow bugs so that they light up.
We might have invented new technology, but feudalism is well and good, my friend.
The cycle of slavery continues.
My lord.
Yeah, no, the words are good,
Oh,
comma, bye. It's a very cold goodbye. It's good.
Ooh.
Good. Bye.
Damn.
The troupe had added more acts to the routine, including several new magic tricks and a joint performance involving Dim and the ant acrobats. Kiara stood to the side from the dance floor, swishing a water droplet in her hand and watching a conga line pass while other ant couples spun each other around. Haley walked up beside Kiara, carrying her own water droplet. "Hey, you," she greeted. "Hey." Haley, you're taking this exceptionally well, being the size of an ant. Not like you to be such a wallflower. Her eyes cast the reflection in the droplets. "I guess you're still down about the whole divorce, huh?" "And you're not?" Kiara sipped her water. "I'm not happy about it, but I saw it coming from a mile away, so now I just kind of want Mom and Dad to get it over with." Jesus Christ, Haley!
Holy
Hey.
fuck!
What? I already knew there was red flags when he said wallflower.
That is not
she's
at all
a
what
lot
the
more
focus of it is.
practical than her sister, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, like Lelouch v. Britannia, pragmatic.
Haley shook her head at Kiara's dropped jaw. "For every one thing Dad did right keeping us comfortably middle class and stuff like that, he did at least 3 things wrong. He was lucky to have a woman like Mom putting up with him all this time." She leaned in, cupping her hand around her mouth. "Actually, he was caught cheating, and when Mom found out, that was the last straw."
Oh my.
Oh boy.
Are you not sad at all?" she asked once she found her voice again. "That our family is now just a part of a statistic of broken families?" That read to me like a PSA.
It did.
"What are you talking about? Our family isn't broken." She turned, looking over at the party. "Some things are going to change, yeah, but none of us are going to change. Dad will always be our dad. Mom will always be our mom. And we'll always be sisters. No matter what happens, nobody can change any of that." On the other side of the dance floor was Katie, also hugging the wall, shifting from foot to foot, his gaze cast to the ground more than the bugs around him. She handed her droplet to Haley. I am Kiara, and no one can change that," she said softly. "Did you put your name in the goblet of fire, Harry?" I just Dumbledore that.
I am Kiara.
"I am Kiara, nobody can change that," she said softly. She wove her way through the dance floor, and Katie looked up with widened eyes at her approach. She stopped before him and held out her hand. May I have this dance? So oh, none of us are going to change. Her reaction to that is, yes, I'm going to be the biggest slut I possibly can.
Hey, you know what?
No one can change that.
Speak your truth, queen.
He nearly took a step back, while the other hand started to reach towards her before halting in the air. I know you can't sing, but don't tell me you can't dance either. With one last look between her face and her hand, Katie finally rested his palm in her own. The two stepped out together onto the dance floor, just as the musicians began a new song. He swallowed before arranging two of his hands on her waist, one on the upper back, and the last to stay clasped on her own hand to lead. Kiara stepped closer, resting her other hand on his shoulder. Stuttering steps soon turned into glides, and they were flowing across the dance floor together in tandem, with the river of couples. Oh, it's getting hot in here, so I have to take off. That's what I'm just imagining his plane
So
right
take
now.
off all your ant clothes.
Oh god.
Sorry.
What clothes?
I don't even want to imagine.
It's just he
I-
rips off his
like,
exoskeleton, just like
Your
oh.
shell.
Oh,
Your
God.
carapace.
You strip your shell, boy.
Listen, you got to put those antennae away, man. All right, this is a family outing.
The lights, colored leaves, and stars above all blurred together, mere backdrops to Katie's smiling face, a mirror of Kiara's. Well, a mirror if she had mandibles.
Yara's at it again.
Well, like Boopa said, at least it's with people her own age now.
Yep.
Approximately.
The bar
It's
is
progress.
the bar is 6 feet under,
Where was
guys.
it?
You don't have to celebrate
What is
getting
it?
over
Don't rats only live like a single year? or
Is it
something like
working
that?
again?
No, like how long do rats? Only like 2 or 3.
I think my internet will survive.
Oh dear.
it. Oh no.
It's been having issues ever since my fucking roommate's dad wanted to start using our IPN address for fucking VPN bullshit because he moved to Panama.
Well,
Oh, dear.
Hold up.
make sure you close all the windows. You don't want to let the Wi-Fi out.
Rupa, you just said that live on air. They know where he is now. They can find him. The VPN is
Where
useless.
in Panama?
That's all they need,
Bottom of the
Mupa.
canal.
We just
just
some of this like we were going from let's go through this fic to yo boy, you guys someone's dad has just got loaded to
Yo.
Panama.
Just look over. It's like there's a news ticker just like Panama has been nuked. It's like what the fuck is happening?
Thanks
Oh
to our
my God.
sponsor, Surfshark VPN.
The new slogan: "Don't go to Panama."
Don't go to Panama.
Yeah,
Is
I really
that-
don't
we're
know.
going
I almost
to
got my
Panama.
organ stolen there.
Oh.
His dad is actually on 308 Negro Royal Lane, and there's a pizza on his roof.
Panama is
Right.
the new Cleveland.
Night shattered. Radigan and Basil sat together at one of the banquet tables, watching the circus troupe perform and laughing at the jokes from the clowns. As Radigan drank deeply from his water droplet, his eyes trailed to the dance floor. He abruptly lowered his drink, staring. Huh. What is it? Basil leaned forward, looking past him. Kiara and the cicada teenager waltzed about, both with undisguised joy on their faces. Well, how about that? It's funny. She once told me the reason she and I couldn't marry is because I'm a rat. And so it would have been a sin. Kiara had many, many reasons for not marrying you. The rat part, the least of them. I know that now, but still, it's surprising to see her cozying up to an insect of all things.
Wow.
Got some
bro,
little bit of racism there.
Don't say insect with a hard eye.
Oh no.
Yeah, really imagine getting tucked by an
Eh,
insect.
How I can't. What the insect? How do I do that without an
What?
eye?
So you say bug now? Is that the word?
No, we call it a
I
person.
really thought
of
you were
bug.
gonna say incel.
Oh, bugger.
Rodents and insects have had strenuous racial tensions ever since the Black Plague.
Fair,
Yeah.
actually, fair.
True
Damn, he's right.
fact.
You know,
True
the rat's
fact.
just like, you fuckers got us blamed for all this shit that you did.
Oh, it's on now.
The fucking
bitch.
flea, like all the insects are like, look, side-eyeing the fleas, and the fleas are like, we'll fucking do it again.
I'll do it again.
God damn.
We'll fucking do it again. Yo.
I will kill all of Europe again.
Radigan says that you're not allowed to marry anyone unless if they're a mammal.
Wait, are
That
insects
still leaves so
technically
many
warm-blooded
options,
or
though.
Man, this new-
At least it wouldn't be a filthy insect.
Are insects technically warm or
Whoa.
cold-blooded?
Twilight, I'm ashamed of you.
Do they even have
I thought
blood?
Canada
I,
was
I
against
don't
that
think
kind of
insects
talk.
have blood.
I thought they do. I don't. I am now
squashed
realizing
enough
how little
insects to
I
assume they've had blood.
Well, I just assumed they had. Well, okay, according to Helldivers, they got oil in there, so like.
Moopa's just like, insects have some kind of life fluid in them. I can't want to describe things like that. Ah, yes, you are losing precious life fluid. I just don't think it's.
All right. Do.
Life fluid.
It's been 2 years since we first met her, and since that whole debacle occurred, Basil said, his eyes softening on his goddaughter. Perhaps she likes the boy for who he is more than what he is. Kiara and Katie slowed in their dance as the song wound down, finally stopping in the open space on the floor. Won't you sing for me? Kiara asked softly. Katie tensed a little. You'll just regret asking me. You don't really want to hear me sing. Yes, I do. More than anything. She gazed at him, brown hair curling gently around her face, her dark eyes framed by her glasses, locked onto Katie's own, her cheeks faintly flushing from dancing. Kiara? Yes? There's something I need to tell you. What is it? She leaned in.
Hail Hydra.
Yeah, fuck off.
It's a confession scene, isn't it?
Yes.
It's worse than that.
Man, it's
Oh,
just-
yeah, no, it's exactly like the movie. So, yeah, I knew that this was going to happen.
Oh my god.
His mouth hung frozen, while his eyes jumped about, unable to rest anywhere on her face for too long. What is that?
What?
What is what?
Huh?
What?
Oh, there was just like a rumbling that I thought that I felt.
The
was
insects,
an
they're
earthquake.
coming for you. Twilight, get out of there.
Yeah.
I'm getting my shotgun.
It's the moles from Panama.
That's it.
Load.
I'm getting my mallet.
Load the dragon's breath rounds.
I don't think that would help it with guns. Just saying.
I mean, I always get a kick at those images that are just like a house burning down. It's like, okay, there was a spider, and just
Yeah. Nobody panic. I got the spider.
He cleared his throat and opened his mouth to speak again when a sound like rolling thunder came over the island. Oh, you mean like the sound I just heard? Oh, goody.
Holy crap. Foreshadowing.
It's Zeus.
foreshadowing or foreshocking. You decide.
The musicians, the performers, the dancers, and all conversation faltered. All turned their heads up to the sound, eyes widening. A great rustling accompanied the thunder, then a high-pitched chittering. The ants all began to gather together in the middle of the grounds, hushed mutters going through them. From the shadows beyond the lamplight, the grasshopper gang descended on all sides. The rustling noises became louder, until on opposing sides of the grass, 2 prairie dogs burst out. They made low growling tones in their throats, teeth bared. The corpses of the ant guards that had surrounded the island were stuck to the bottoms of their paws.
Oh.
Ew.
Jesus
Oh no, their
H.
life
Christ.
fluid, it's getting
Good
everywhere.
God.
or caught in the fur of their cheeks. On the head of one of the prairie dogs stood Chippendale, and a curvy cicada hovered in the air by his side. He had a tiny cigar clenched between his teeth, and he grinned down at them all. Mind if we crash the party?
I mean,
Okay.
I already did.
Chippendale.
I'm gonna say it. Mind if we crash the party? Not a bad line.
Yeah, it ain't bad.
Well, wait, what would be the equivalent in, like, I don't know, British slang? Because I'm assuming Chippendale's like British, right?
No. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess he is, but like, I don't know that much British slang.
Fair enough.
Mind if we give it a good old wank? Just like, it's like, you can't say that, Chippendale. What? No, it's perfectly normal where I come from. It's like, no, you're not here. It means something completely different. It's like, what's about having a good old wank? It's like, you just stop saying that.
Got any bottle of water?
Shackles. Chippendale! Radigan snarled, and he and Basil glaring up at the chipmunk. How dare you steal my time machine? How are you doing this? Commanding these rodents?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like,
dude,
mostly bugs, really, but.
I may be the size of a beetle, but we're still kin,
Chippendale said, spreading his arms wide. All they needed was a little persuasion.
You mean blackmail?
Well done, Katie, the cicada woman said, hovering a little lower towards the crowd of huddled ants. You got all these ants to drop their guards. At last, Hopper will finally be avenged.
No, he didn't.
What are you talking about?
Yeah,
You had to kill all the guards. He didn't do anything.
Katie's like, I literally didn't. I was actively about to sabotage this entire operation. What are you talking about?
It's the opposite of that one Sailor Moon meme of like, my job is complete. Like, he literally, like, your job wasn't even complete. You didn't do anything.
Kiara's head snapped around the Katie. He was backing away from the other insects, away from the crowd, close to the line of the grasshoppers. The cicada woman had the exact same coloration as him. That's your mom, she breathed.
Ooh, got him.
Yes, Katie said softly. Then, her old boyfriend, the one who died, that was...
I didn't mean for things to go this far. I wanted to tell you.
He stopped, but then he reached to the grasshopper line and his face hardened.
But this is the man I need to be. What I'm supposed to be.
The prairie dogs and grasshoppers herded the ants into even rows. From among the multitudes, Queen Ada, Prince Consort Flick, Radigan, Basil, Haley, and Kiara were pulled roughly to the front, their hands held behind their backs as they were forced to their knees. All right, putting a pin here. 10-1. The rats that were freed in the Futurama excerpt are going to come back to save them at the very end. I'm foreseeing this.
Let's see if you're right.
Chippendale jumped.
Let's see if Diogenes Bolius is here to embrace you again with his gift of foresight.
May the Apollonian guide us.
Chippendale jumped to the ground in front of them and marched down the line, a bounce in his step.
Tomorrow you're all invited to a grand ceremony. We will be celebrating the reunion and reinstatement of the alliance between the ants and grasshoppers as both to their rightful places. And to symbolize that, we will be executing the queen, the prince consort, and the former human mouse Kiara. First thing in the morning, Kiara's just like, I was never actually a mouse. That was a shut up.
That was like a bit.
That was
Also,
the
why don't you
bit
just
I was
kill
trying
them
to
now?
seduce Radigan. That was the whole thing that I was trying to do. Great wails rose up from the crowd, the most audible of them coming from the former queen and Princess Dot. With a jerk of Chippendale's head, Kiara and the others were led away, while the crowd of other terrified insects were herded another direction. Kiara passed Katie as she went, and he turned his face away. Ant Islands! Prison was stressed to the maximum occupancy, each of them locked into a single narrow cell. Flick and Basil both paced in
in tight circles. Haley kept fiddling with the lock on her door cell. Ada was poking at the seal wall. Okay, I'm imagining she's like managed to like stick her head through and is like biting the lock. Kind of like she's gonna like feral on it, trying to like.
That's a
open
great idea.
it. Just like the idea that Kiara's like little sister is both way more mature, but is also a fucking gremlin, like greatly amuses me. All right. Ada was poking at the sealed walls and corners of her cells for somewhere to start digging, and Kiara alternated between pulling on her cell's bars and kicking at them. Radigan sat in his cell, fiddling with his pocket watch, which they let him keep for some reason. Could you at least pretend you care about escaping and saving our lives? This is hardly my first time behind bars, he said dryly. The only thing you're all doing is wasting energy.
You completely skipped.
Haley huffing, glaring at the rat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think you did.
Haley huffed, glaring at the rat. Okay, there, I got it. Oh, this is hardly my first time behind bars, he said dryly. The only thing you're all doing is wasting energy. I just can't wrap my head around it, Flick said. His actions aren't those of a man prioritizing revenge by killing someone. It's as if he's trying to achieve something else entirely. Like helping the grasshoppers. It would make sense if they were coercing him somehow. But he seems to be like he has all the power. So why help them get revenge for Hopper? What are we to him? Dude, he's trying to get some of that sweet, sweet bug sex we all saw in Dragon Ball Z Abridged.
Throwing away.
Oh,
Dude.
God, great.
Dude, I told you, Invincible, Omni-Man.
We haven't seen it, man.
Vegeta, I want them to breed.
I want to see how they
God.
breathe.
Oh, God, no.
I call it funny, Vegeta.
Why did he say it like that?
He has to for the joke.
Who knows what he wants anymore, Basil said. Trying to fathom the criminal mind is a fool's game. What matters now is that we try to find a way to escape. Isn't that your fucking job, Basil?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Are you not a detective, dude?
He retired. Now he's full-time Kiara's godfather.
He's on break.
We were on a break! Anyway, Kiara sighed, leaning her head against the bars. This is my fault. If I had just... Don't steal the credit that doesn't belong to you, a new voice spoke. They all looked up, peering out their cells. Katie stepped into the dim light of the mushrooms, his expression unreadable.
Dun,
Bum, bum.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Really
Yes.
lied.
He has the keys to unlock all their cells.
And the keys to Kiara's heart.
No, he doesn't. That comes with age.
Oh, no.
Damn.
I was gonna say she has a ring of those, but like, man, you beat me to the punch on that.
Oh. A ray of light. Oh, of course. Kiara spat as Katie came to a stop in front of her cell. How dare I steal your thunder? Wouldn't want to prevent you from being able to gloat, right? He shook his head, folding both sets of arms. You, of all people, should understand. Understand what? Tricking people? Playing with their emotions and then throwing them away once you're done? We've both had to grow up with crappy fathers. Fathers that the world forces on us. But now I finally had the chance to surpass him. I'll be the better bug than Hopper ever was. A better bug? Really? A better bug by being pushed around by the likes of Chip and Dale? By your mom? Better bug by enslaving ants the same way Hopper did? Yes,
Oh my god.
he growled.
Just the
Napoleon complex. We're dealing with Napoleon complex, guys.
it's the steamed hams. Yes, like yes.
He just changes his voice.
What do you got there? Treachery? Treachery, located in this hurt and comfort story, localized entirely on Ant Island. Can I see it? Sure.
Cool.
You're a lost cause, and you're pathetic. You don't know the first thing about what kind of bug Hopper was. Even if you thought he was any good, you're just going to be a worse bug. The worst bug ever. I can't believe I read that with a straight face. Thank you, Moopa.
You're so welcome.
I
You know
am
what?
not! He turned and kicked a pebble careening down the hall. All my life, everything I've ever done, everything I've ever worked hard for, it all blows up in my face. So why shouldn't I win? Just this once. Why can't I ever win? A nearby mushroom lamp was his next victim, stomping it with a crumpled into a crumpled dim mess. Calm down! You can't just... Kiara caught herself and exhaled a small laugh, drawing Katie's surprised expression. Inhaling deeply through her nose, she pushed her hair back from her face. You can't just take your anger out on everything around you. Even if the world dealt you a bad hand, it's not actually the world's fault. You have to face it like a grown-up. She stepped close to the bars again, pushing her face through it as far as it would go. Katie, look at me. You're already a better bug. From the very beginning, you were always better than Hopper. But if you do this, if you just go along with what Chippendale and your mom are doing, then you'll stop being the better bug. You'll be worse than scum. She held out her hand to him, palm upraised. You decide who you are. No one else. Only you. Katie looked between her and her hand for several long moments before reaching out and taking it. I'm sorry, he whispered, voice shaking. I'm so sorry. I don't even know what I can do to help you at this point.
I love Kiara's just like, life liquid is thicker than water.
It's called a hemolymph, by the way.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Neat.
Huh.
Fun facts.
The one speech was able to convince Katie to get to switch sides, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Welcome to
Did you
Disney
not-
logic.
Well,
Can I see it? No.
Well, also welcome to being a guy with a crush, I guess.
Oh boy.
I want to
Yeah.
say
Oh,
that's a
no.
disservice to most guys, but 70-30, you're right.
Even among the insect kingdom, simps are alive and well.
What are you kidding? They're
It's
almost
ironic
exclusive
that
among them.
the
I mean, like, I think that's just how it's structured, honestly.
Yeah. You could set us all free, Haley pointed out. The others had gathered near the entrances of their cells, watching the pair. Katie shook his head. No, they would notice a big group like you trying to leave, and then they'd arrest me too. He's right, Ada agreed. Before anything else, we need a plan. Right now, the ants have taken a heavy demoralizing blow, but they are not ready to turn to their old lives of subjugation. All they need is some encouragement and they'll rally, just as they did before. The biggest problem is those prairie dogs. Unless we can get rid of them or make Chippendale lose control of them somehow, even a heartfelt speech won't carry us very far. Kiara's eyes sparkled behind her glasses. I have an idea.
I hope it's a good one.
Before dawn breaks.
Dun, dun, dun.
Those prairie dogs, they're not bug-sized like Chippendale. They're regular prairie dogs. Yes, Kiara, we noticed. Kiara explained. Everyone
She has
leaning...
a point.
Everyone leaning as close as they could within the prison. Yes, and? Ada asked. So a flea like PT would be awful for them. If he could jump around on their backs, or if he could even round up some more flea friends to harass them, the prairie dogs will go nuts and not want to listen to anything Chippendale says. Hey, PT,
Oh yeah.
you know the plague? Bring it back.
oh yeah.
I want the 1500s to look like a fucking start.
That would be brutal.
Bust out the good shit.
Forget to wash your hands.
There's a nest of ticks just downstream on the far side of the river. If PT could go and talk to them, maybe they'd be convinced to help. I forgot that was I gave her a voice. Anyway,
Why, this gives me an idea, Radigan realized. Basil, there must be normal-sized field mice and rats living in the surrounding area, not just prairie dogs. We can do as Chippendale did, and round up our brethren to help us fight the grasshoppers.
No. You did
Hell
that
yeah.
last time.
Lightning.
Miss for the fanfic.
Wow.
Oh. You're right, Basil said. It's brilliant. Of course, in order to do that, we need at least to be released from ourselves. They looked to Katie. Katie wrung his hands from him, then nodded. All right, if it's just the two of you, I think I'll be able to make it off the island without drawing any attention. He reached around behind him under his wing casing and pulled out a key. You were planning to help me escape the whole time, weren't you? Kiara said, wonderingly. That is not a word I see very often. Shut up, he muttered, going to Basil's cage first. Are you two going to recruit some mice to help fight with you? I'll try to sneak over to the PT and tell him. Here's half of the plan. He's so small, I don't think anyone will notice if he hops away. Katie, thank you. Katie, Brain, thank you. Katie, thank you, truly. I know this plan is going to work. It has
That's
to.
Kiara.
Katie, thank you, truly. I know this plan is going to work. It has to. After Radigan and Basil were freed and had piled some junk to look like they were sleeping, it was their sleeping forms, the girl and the cicada shared one last lingering look. All three of the men exited the prison in different directions, disappearing into the shadows. It was a gray morning. A hot wind rolled across the land, stifling and incessant. The old tree bent and creaked as its baying green leaves fluttered from the branches prematurely. And then the tree just fell and crushed everyone, and that was the end of the story.
Yay!
The ants and circus troupe had been led to the grounds, sitting in organized rows. Grasshoppers stood guard all around them, holding staves and spears aloft. At the head of the grounds where the offering stone was, an executioner's block had been prepared. Chippendale himself stood ready with an axe carved from walnut shell. Chikira sat on a short distance behind in the royal flower throne, a drop of nectar in her hand. The prairie dogs sat on either side of the offering stone, smelling the air. Kiara, Flick, and Ada were led out of the anthill and in front of the captive audience, hands bound, a guard minding each of them. At the base of the ramp leading up the stone, Flick and Ada were made to wait while Kiara walked up alone. She stopped some millimeters from the executioner's block, staring at it as the wind swept her hair. Chippendale grinned at her toothily, running a thumb along the edge of his axe. Kiara closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and stepped forward, and the man next to her turned and said, "Ah, you're finally awake!"
You're trying to cross the board.
God damn.
It's all been secretly a prequel to Skyrim.
Oh no!
I'd read that.
So that was a Pocahontas ass ending. The changing tides. Kiara knelt slowly before the executioner's block and remained erect there while Chippendale gave some pretentious speech.
You didn't have to stop, you know that.
Not to kink shame.
Yeah, she's more excited for this than I thought she was.
Damn.
No, I got tongue-tied, so that's why I stopped.
Sure.
Her eyes darted past the edge of the island's cliff, to the grass on the other side of the river, to the surrounding ants, to the water itself. The stream ran dark and turbulent that morning, but it seemed there were shapes moving through the water, splashing against the current. Hesitating won't save your life, love, Chippendale said, and swung his foot to kick her square in the back. She stumbled and barely caught herself before her chin collided with the block. Flashing a quick glare at the chipmunk, she straightened before inching closer. With deliberate precision, she lowered her neck to the block, staring straight ahead. She counted the seconds, concentrating on slow breaths even as Chippendale began to raise his axe. The prairie dog across from her yelped. Chippendale hesitated, and Shakira turned her head as the prairie dog began to squeal and turn on the spot, nipping and scratching at its fur. Kiara exhaled shakily, lifting her head again. Behind her, the other prairie dog began to panic in a similar way, running in tight circles to try and bite at its tail before rolling onto its back and wriggling. "What's going on? What's the matter with you two?" Chippendale demanded. One prairie dog managed to dislodge a tick with its foot, only for the tick to jump right back into its fur. "How dare you defy us?" Shakira shrieked, raising from her seat. "We're only just getting started, darling," Ratigan's voice called out. A chittering noise swelled, and a pack of rats and mice climbed over the cliff's face. Ratigan and Basil rode astride their respective mounts, at the head of each pack glaring back triumphantly.
Okay, I need to put this in terms to understand why this is so fucking funny. Like, all right, cute, tiny rats riding big rats. But if they're all sentient, this is like, imagine tiny humans riding aloft big humans that are running, like, galloping on all
Attack on
fours.
Titan.
Weird kinky shit. Yep, must be Tumblr.
The prairie dogs became more fervent, hissing at the new rodents while still trying to scratch and bite at their pests. "Shouldn't have underestimated the little guys," PT called, and descended into the offering stone before jumping onto one of the prairie dogs with the others. Katie landed next, knife ready. He went straight to Kiara and cut the binds around her wrists before pulling her a safe distance away. "Katie, what are you doing?" Shakira demanded. "This is wrong, Mom," Katie said, turning and facing her. "I won't let you do this." Queen Ada took a deep breath and shouted, "Ants! Attack!" A tide of blue and violet, the ants sprang from their orderly rows and washed over the grasshopper guards. While the ants fought the grasshoppers, the rats and mice attacked the prairie dogs, biting and clawing the golden fur of the prairie dogs, soon stained with blood.
Jesus.
Oh my.
Excuse me, life liquid?
Now that is
Fucking hell, man.
I'm imagining, like,
dogs.
the demon in Smiling Friends, the forest demon, and when he walks in, and everyone just fucking mobs him at the end of the episode. That's what I'm imagining right now with all of this.
Understandable,
And
right?
is that just your verbal version of trying to do the purple blood from Danganronpa to not show red blood?
The prairie dogs turned and scampered, darting as fast as their legs carried through the bush, jumping off the island and swimming across the stream to shore. Before hitting the water, the fleas and ticks leapt off the prairie dogs and landed back on the island. Katie and Kiara ran to Ada and Flick, where they were dodging and fighting their personal grasshopper guards. Kiara picked up a discarded spear as she ran, and while Katie went to free Ada and Flick, Kiara jabbed at the grasshoppers. They dodged her attacks, turning her spear aside until she managed to gut one in the abdomen. The other took one look at his fallen companion, at the rioting ants already dispatching the grasshoppers that had guarded them, and dropped his spear as he took flight and disappeared into the distance. Kiara turned, a wild smile on her face as she looked to the freed Flick and Ada, to Katie, the ants, the circus bugs, and the rats and mice, as they either killed, captured, or chased away the remaining grasshoppers. "Oi, cicada boy!" Chippendale yelled. The four turned, and Katie gasped sharply. Chippendale held Shakira with two arms twisted behind her back, the edge of his axe hefted to her throat. "Kill Kiara right now, or I'll kill your mum. What's it gonna be?"
My fucking god, lightning.
Well, you see, they're obviously going to win the fight because as soon as he enters his second phase, he'll unleash the light of Ratania and just nuke the entire field.
All right, that's enough Dark Souls for you, sir.
Nope.
Get him off the Dark Souls stuff.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't.
All right, I think we'll round out on this chapter. Well, it depends. If we cross 11, well, I'm doing it. So
Dang.
cracks.
Read fast.
Time
5
froze
minutes.
around them. Chippendale held Chikira hostage on the offering stone, staring Katie down with a mixture of fury and certainty. Kira watched Katie, peripherally aware of the knife in his hands. Katie stared back at his mom, unmoving and unblinking. Flick and Ada looked between the two teens, both tense to move. Under his breath, barely a sound at all, Katie whispered, "What would Hopper do?" You know, WWHD. I mean, come on, man. Obviously. That's the question we all ask. You know, I have to make a tough choice at the store, and I ask, man, what would Hopper do? I would enslave ants to get me. That's typically the answer.
No, Moopa, no.
God damn it, Moopa.
Bruh.
We do not bring up Kevin Spacey, please.
He was the one that played Hopper, so it makes sense.
Oh my god.
Wait.
You don't need to worry about what Hopper would have done, Kiara said quietly. You don't need to be like him, not when you have friends like us. Her eyes flicked meaningfully past Chippendale. Behind him, Ratigan and his rat-mounted climbed onto the offering stone, Ratigan holding up a rock as they snuck closer. Oh my god, is Ratigan going to brain him with a fucking rock?
just like Kanan.
Katie looked back at Kiara and nodded with a tremulous smile.
Oi! Don't you care what happens to your mum?
Chippendale demanded. Ratigan spiked the rock down hard on Chippendale's head, and the chipmunk fell in a heap. Ratigan jumped down from his mount's back as it began to savage the tiny chipmunk, biting through his torso. Oh my god!
Oh!
Yo!
Whoa!
Ah, no! My life liquid! No!
Is this one of my metal albums again?
Gone full Watership Down over here.
Shakira screamed, backing away from the carnage.
No! No! What have you done?
She turns to Katie, tears overflowing.
This is all your fault. If you had just done what you were told, we could have had it all. He promised us everything. He would have started treating you right. He would have started treating me like a queen if he had just gotten what he'd wanted.
No, Kiara spoke aloud in the growing quiet as the battle concluded.
That's not true, and you know it. I know now why you got together with Chippendale and put up with him. You were trying to replace the man you lost in Hopper. And maybe you only started dating Hopper because there was another void in your life you wanted to fill, another person to replace. Shut up! But you can't do it. We all need to stop trying to replace the people in our lives.
She turned to Katie and stepped to him, taking one of his hands gingerly.
Our fathers are our fathers, irreplaceable no matter how bad or good they are. We shouldn't try to replace them because we shouldn't be defining ourselves by our parents. We are so much more than them. They gave us as much as we needed, and that doesn't need to be supplemented by anything else. We're already complete.
She cupped one hand on Katie's cheek, and he leaned into her touch, exhaling softly.
I'm done looking for men like my father. I want to know people for who they actually are from now on, she whispered.
Kiara began to lean up towards Katie, and he bent down towards her. Their lips were a hair's breadth apart when lightning cracked directly overhead.
Yo, lightning, what the fuck, man?
Lightning, what do you do, man?
Oh.
Stop cracking, man.
He's got lightning is God, and he just like smited him.
No interspecies romance is when I'm around.
All right, perfect. Twilight, read us out on this chapter.
Plus
please.
the
Sick
faunus.
cliffhanger.
Oh.
Lightning is the deus ex machina, I guess, of this fanfic.
My God.
Amazing.
Dwight, everything okay on your end?
I was gonna say, are we? Twy, are you good?
Yeah.
I said, Twy,
Sorry.
read us out on this one.
Oh, good.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it. I got distracted by my mom texting me.
Fair.
Perfectly valid reason.
Misplaced. The wind picked up, moaning and blistering. The sky above opened into a swirling vortex, an unnatural light shining from its center, cold and detached. Kiara, came a new voice, and all turned to see Kieran walking slowly to them. That's against the rules. Kieran's voice held a new timbre to it, reverberating on itself. You! I left you tied up in the burrow, Chikira said. What are you doing here? His gaze never left Kiara. Now you've gone and spoiled the fun. Oh well, nothing a little elbow grease can't fix. Kieran, what are you doing? Kiara asked. Is that really you? What's happening? He lifted his hands and snapped his fingers. His feet left the ground, body ascending. A scorching wind swirled around Kiara. She was lifted off her feet as well.
What? Hey, we're taking a turn.
Since when?
Oh God!
Since
This
when was
Kingdom
Kieran
Hearts
a
shit comes in,
wizard?
isn't it?
Oh, he's worse than that.
Oh shit!
Oh.
Is he Goku? Oh God!
Please, please let him be Goku.
Keep going.
It has been so long since we read Anne Frank X Goku. We need some of the energy.
Give me your energy.
Taylor's gonna show up.
By the way, that
Oh,
was a
wait,
thing
wait,
that
wait.
we read.
We read that.
Yeah, that was,
Wait,
that's a thing
Wait,
that
is this-
someone actually wrote. It's the crossover
Yeah.
romance between Anne Frank and Goku.
Uh-huh.
It was beautiful.
No, it doesn't address the fact that Goku's married, I don't think.
No, not at all.
Between Anne Frank and Goku?
Yep.
Hey,
yes.
Yep.
hey, look,
He's
it's
Super
till
Saiyan fights
death
Hitler.
do us part, and Goku died like 7 times, so it's fine.
Kill which death?
Yeah, I guess, you know,
You
I
need-
kinda gonna need to get used to this.
There needs to be an amendment for those wedding vows. Till which death do we part? We gotta be clear.
You know they say lifetime, but they never factor in Dragon Balls.
Ah.
Till final death do us part. There we go.
Hey,
She cracked the code.
Kiara! Katie cried, grabbing her hand. He winced at the heat, but held on, using his other hands to hold onto her forearm as well. Hang on! Basil yelled, joining Katie and Radigan behind him. All three grabbed and pulled, trying to hold Kiara down. The wind only grew stronger as the light of the vortex became colder. Kieran was already becoming a speck. Kiara's arm was slipping out of Katie's grasp, down to the wrist, to the palm, to the fingers. Time for some re-education. Kieran's voice came, loud and clear as if he were standing beside them all. Katie's fingers slipped, and Kiara had an instant of seeing him and the others all shrink below her, of Ant Island's tree becoming a shrub, a river a trickle, until finally her vision was consumed by white.
That's racist.
Kiara opened her eyes. She was lying on a cold piles patterned in white and gray. White stone walls and stone columns held up a white ceiling, where some dark gray tiles were laid in a geometric pattern. The only trace of color was a dashed line of blue tiles at the very top of the walls, and 2 pairs of pale yellow doors, one at the top of a short flight of stairs and the other at the bottom. It was a room of such magnitude that even if it were full of chattering people, a pin dropping would still echo. Kiara picked herself up, adjusting her glasses. Her clothes had been changed in her sleep. She now
It's my
wore a
most-
small...
That's my most hated trope of all time in fan fiction, by the way.
Wait.
When like the heroine's clothes get changed while they're unconscious. I fucking hate that shit so much.
Oh, please tell me you answer who changed them. It's like it's not magic or anything. Someone actually like she just like walked in. And it's like, oh, there's an unconscious girl on the floor. Well,
You
here-
can make a presumption.
I was like,
You'll be able to make a presumption.
oh hey, I have all this
Yes.
spare clothing. Time to change her.
That's a pretty screwed up presumption, guys. Uh-oh.
Wait a sec. Also, Twy, the
We
the,
know-
the description
we know where
of that
this
room
is.
sounds
I think-
familiar.
I think we know where this is.
You're sniffing it out.
Oh
Someone
no,
in
no,
the-
I know for a fact what this is. I
Yeah.
I have a big idea what
We're
this is.
here.
Oh, we're here. She now wore a small white dress with a thick black stripe down the middle and thin straps on her shoulders. Her shoes had been changed to black-heeled sandals, and she was fairly certain she'd been bathed and her hair brushed. She shuddered, hugging herself, but there was no one around. She approached the doors that led up. Pushing them open, she entered another hall identical to the one she just left. She walked a bit faster and entered another pristine white hall. This one had one other door option to pass through. She took it and found another replica of the first hall. She frowned, looking back and forth the way she had come and the way forward. She kicked off her shoes and left them at the entrance of the new hallway before continuing forward. She never saw those sandals again.
Oh no.
Okay.
Heeled sandals for sale, never worn.
That's our cliffhanger.
I was gonna say, like, the why is someone saying ich liebe dich? You don't say ich liebe dich. No, that's a bad thing to say. That means you want to fucking sleep with someone.
Is that Greek?
It's German.
No.
It's German.
Can confirm it was not.
That's
Greek.
like saying, like, I mean, I guess the more direct, it's like the Eisteru. I mean, maybe not like as intimate. It's just like very much like it has a more sexual romantic connotation to it
Oh
in
my
German.
god. That's
Anyway,
ruining
that's just weird. Why is that in there? Why are you saying that? Anyway, yeah, Castle Oblivion. Yay. And also
Hooray!
I know you said there was something else that was inspiring you.
I was reading House of Leaves at the time, so it's kind of Castle Oblivion flavored with House of Leaves.
Never read House of Leaves.
Oh.
It's a good book.
But
It's got a lot of 90s sexism in some chapters, but you know, the rest of the book is good.
Which
Now
little
we're in
pig
the
was
House
that one
of
about?
Rat.
It's about basically a family who moves into a house that has a giant fucking labyrinth hidden inside it.
Ooh.
And it's like a horror novel.
I was gonna say, like, I was getting flashbacks to the first Resident Evil film, and then technically speaking, the second Resident Evil film, and then,
also
and then
the book
technically
is
speaking, the
like-
third Resident Evil film, and then technically
And also the
speaking,
book is like is an ergonomic book, so the way information is given is really unique. Like some pages it's just a bunch of music notes, and like some of pages the print is placed on the page really weird. It's fun, it's interesting.
and also the fifth Resident Evil film, and also, oh, sorry, okay,
Yes,
joke's
you
over.
get it, Raymond. You're traumatized by Paul W.S. Anderson.
No, I'm not traumatized. I'm just saying I remember the openings of those. Because you typically have the main character waking up in clothes they didn't start in originally, and being like kind of confused about where they are and what's happening.
If you want to put a good Paul W.S. Anderson film, go watch Event Horizon.
Okay, that is a quote unquote good film. There's a difference. Also, the Resident Evil films are fun as fuck. Remember, good and fun do not necessarily operate in the same spaces. Good example of this, Schindler's List is an excellent film. It is
Not very fun.
Not very fun.
Honestly, if you call Schindler's List a fun film, I have further questions, actually.
Okay, no, clarification. Schindler's List would be fun if you put Goku in it.
A lot of films would be more fun if you put Goku in it.
All right.
Bruh, that's just a given, so that doesn't count.
Billy Donuts right at the end. Yay, donuts.
Oh, yay, donuts.
Yay.
End of night donuts.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for joining. I'm sorry it has to be a short one. I've probably already kept people up that we're going to be pissed at me tomorrow, but yeah, I'll live with the consequences there. I hope you all had a good time. A friendly reminder that if you want to join us for our Bad Fanfiction Nights, you can by subscribing to my Patreon for $1 or more. By doing so, you gain access to the Tundra Discord server, where I, Fatman Following, Twilight Guardian, and a whole host of other people from our YouTube circles are regularly active and hang out. Additionally, if you want to support the channel, we've got a whole bunch of cool merch. I don't know if I have the link to that in the down below, but I know you can find it on my YouTube channel. There should be a link to the Celtic Phoenix store. So go look there. There's a bunch of Fruby stuff there, or quote unquote not Fruby stuff. Totally not Fruby stuff, legally speaking. But we've also got some fun just channel stuff. Like you want a little Kelpie on a shirt. I think he's adorable. So if you want to show some support that way, go right ahead.
Plushies when?
God,
Yes,
I
multiple
legitimately
blushes
have to
win.
contact Makeship. I have no idea how to go about that process.
You literally, your icon right now would be a great marketable plushie.
Oh, it
like
would
a
be.
Celtic
Yes.
Phoenix.
Oh my God.
With a like pipe. God
Oh,
damn, I'd buy
that's
that in a heartbeat.
Can
Yeah.
we get a selfie cuddle plushie?
But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had fun, and we'll catch you all in the next one.